This will be my very last 3D Mario hype video because we're also only 23 days away. This will be my very last 3D Mario hype video.
This will be my very last 3D Mario hype video.
Look, I'm sorry. It's an addiction. I know, but man, 12 days away from this thing. I mean, how can I wait? How can I just sit here and be patient? Because, oh my gosh, we are 12 days away from the inevitable 3D Mario reveal. So it just gets my mind wondering and racing about what this game could be. And this video isn't necessarily talking about what this open world 3D Mario game is going to be, because I've already talked about what I want it to be and what it could be and what it should be and everything in between of what it could be. And I'm just done talking about that, but I did think about something else that did make me kind of question something. I know we waited almost 8 years for this new 3D Mario game, and it probably will be around 8 years, releasing sometime this holiday or maybe even early next year, so it's going to be a long time. But I feel like the next wait isn't going to be that bad because of a couple of things. I feel like we might actually very well get 2 mainline original 3D Mario games on Switch 2. Before I tell you why I'm thinking this, on to the question of the day. Today's question comes from Real M7 and states, would you want a new Yoshi game and how would you want it? Well, this is something that I've mentioned before, and I think Nintendo definitely needs to take Yoshi in the 3D direction like they've done Kirby. HAL Labs have pushed Kirby into 3D with Forgotten Land, and it is a massive improvement, I think, of anything that they've done in the past. It's already the best-selling Kirby game ever, so it's clear that 3D just sells, and I think they need to do that with Yoshi. I don't care if they take like the Crafted or Woolly World style and just translate it into 3D. I think that would be really cool. Personally, I would love to see a 3D Yoshi's Island, and they could literally just call it Yoshi's Island 3D. I think that would be amazing, and I would keep it very linear, something along the lines of Mario 3D World, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Just going through levels, getting to the end, and fighting hidden secrets and collectibles throughout those levels would be really cool. But like I said, Woolly World, a crafted world like a kid's bedroom, and everything's yarn and stuff, but in 3D, could look really cool. So either that or a Yoshi's Island 3D would make a lot of sense to me. I'm just hoping they finally move into the 3D space and drop some of those 2D games, because in my opinion, they've done enough with the 2D games. With only 11 questions to go, we are certainly running out of time, so make sure you comment the word hype in all caps, followed by your Switch 2 hype comment to be featured in the next video. So why is it that I'm so certain that we'll be getting 2 mainline 3D Mario games on Switch 2? Well, the Switch definitely had Mario in the very beginning. Mario Odyssey was in year 1 at the very end in October, so a lot of people thought we'd be getting a second 3D Mario, and we never saw one. I mean, a lot of people, myself included, thought there would be no way that Nintendo would pass up on an Odyssey 2, especially since everything else around him was getting sequels as well, like Breath of the Wild eventually getting one, and even games like 1-2 Switch, 2 Splatoons, 2 Fire Emblems, 2 Xenoblades. I mean, we could keep going on and on and on, so we thought for sure that Mario would get his beloved sequel, especially after airing so early in the Switch's life cycle, but clearly that wasn't the case. But that doesn't mean we didn't get anything else from 3D Mario. 3 years later, Nintendo would release Super Mario 3D All-Stars that would collect all of Mario's greatest adventures into one package, giving you Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, the best one, and Super Mario Galaxy, which was pretty great, but people were kind of upset that Galaxy 2 didn't happen. But still, these were 3 3D classic Mario games brought back, which was really exciting. But just a couple months later, in the year of 2021, we would actually get another 3D Mario game brought back in the form of Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which was essentially the same exact game from the Wii U, but with a newly added game mode and story of Bowser's Fury, changing up the formula even greater and giving us kind of a mini open world to explore. But when you really sit back and look at what we got about 5 3D Mario games, 4 classic ones with a side mode, and then a 5th new one with Odyssey. So man, we actually got a lot of 3D Mario, even though Nintendo was still missing one big one in my eyes, being Galaxy 2. Shows me that there's once again potential for the Switch 2 to have a lot of 3D Marios, and since we've already got the classics, what's next? Well, they could still give us Galaxy 2 for sure, that's definitely the case, but I know a lot of us, myself included, is expecting to see an open world 3D Mario game or some type of huge expansive 3D Mario game this year. We're going to see it for sure in the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, which is just in 12 days, but it's either going to release probably this holiday season or the beginning of next year if I was a betting man. And like I said, I do think it is going to be fully open world. I think it's going to be a massive new experience for Mario after after waiting this long for a new original experience, I think they've been cooking up since Bowser's Fury kind of gave us a hint as to what to expect. This game is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be insane, and I think everyone's going to love it. But of course, there's still going to be some people that don't like it because it doesn't follow the traditional rules of 3D Mario. The same reason a lot of people didn't like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and I feel like that they're going to want to please both sides, both linear 3D Mario fans and this brand new open world 3D Mario fans. Maybe the second game comes out 4 to 5 years later, similar to how Tears of the Kingdom released later on after Breath of the Wild, still on the same platform. But maybe that's why we haven't seen Galaxy. What if the reasoning is because this next 3D Mario is going to be open world, and then they want to give us a 3D Mario that's more linear, so they want to go back to what was their best linear 3D Mario experience. 3D World was great, and they probably could do another one very much like that, giving it that co-op feel, and I still think that might be the direction that they go in. But what about a Galaxy 3? I mean, it could happen, and maybe that's why Galaxy 2 hasn't come out yet, and it gives them excuse to release Galaxy 2 HD or something as well. As great as that sounds, I don't think it's happening because the devs apparently made it seem as if they kind of stretched that series as much as they could, because with the sequel, they just pretty much used all the written ideas that they had left over from Galaxy 1, so yeah, they're probably done with the Galaxy stuff, and I definitely see it being a new style of Mario 3D World, which I think is the best route, because if this open world Mario game is truly what it's going to be, it's probably only going to be single player, so they're going to want to have a Mario experience that's also multiplayer like 3D World, and they've seen how many people love 3D World. I mean, there are some huge dedicated fans out there. I'm more along the lines of the single player focused Mario games, but I definitely understand why people love 3D World so much, because it is a blast to be had with friends, so they're going to want to have a 3D Mario game that kind of replicated what that one did back on the Wii U and eventually the Switch. So I think that might be what Nintendo's plans are. Big open world 3D Mario game this year, maybe 4 or 5 years later, a fun multiplayer 3D linear Mario experience. I think is exactly the route that they should go. I mean, if Breath of the Wild can have 2 games on Nintendo Switch with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, then so can Mario, right? However, there is one more Mario game that I think could cover that 3D Mario genre eventually when it releases, and I think it's the best option for Nintendo in their future with 3D Mario, and I think it's something that they definitely should start on Switch too, and that is 3D Mario Maker. Mario Builder 64 is already a ROM hack out there that you can actually download and play yourself, and it works so well, and it's still something that I feel like would just completely fix Mario's 3D problem. And I don't think it has a problem, I just feel like the waits now are getting longer and longer for the next original 3D Mario game. What better way to take pressure off of the developers' shoulders than just straight up letting the players make the 3D Mario stages? I mean, seriously, if 2D Mario lasted as long as it has until now, I mean, people are still coming up with themes and styles and stuff that they want in 2D Mario Maker, but could you imagine the absolute endless possibility that a 3D Mario Maker could have? You have a full 3-dimensional plane to build any obstacle course that you want in order to reach the star. It could have extreme Kaizo, parkour skills needed to complete it, or it could be very simple, like a story-driven one that someone wants to create. I don't even care if the only game style right now is something like 64, or like Sunshine, something extremely simple or basic, or even if it's just one custom style just for 3D Mario altogether. I don't care. Nintendo, just make this happen. A game like this could keep people playing for decades, and I'm not kidding. Seriously, they just kept updating the game with fun new enemies, objects, and game styles and themes for the next like 5 to 10 years. This game could seriously continue on, and it would be a perfect way to quench that 3D Mario thirst, giving us unlimited 3D Mario levels to play. Of course, some will be absolutely terrible because some weird kid in Idaho made it, but then some would be extremely, extremely cool. So Nintendo, definitely please consider this at least. Man, I can just sit and talk about 3D Mario non-stop, but of course I have to stop there because this video would go on for years. But of course, I know I made a promise and kind of said that I'd stop talking about 3D Mario and just wait for this Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, but I can't wait. Sue me, dang it. I am too excited. There's too much stuff to talk about and stuff to get hype. I mean, how many times do we sit and just know that a 3D Mario game is about to be revealed? I mean, this is a time that we have to be excited for. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things 3D Mario and Switch 2, because we are just 12 days away. And you're going to want to be here when that game's announced, because man, the coverage is just going to be non-stop. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.